Man, CIAA 2023 was a movie. I'm gonna take you guys and show you guys on how both teams were crowned champions. It was a lot of trash talking. We even had some cheer battles, and there was a lot of emotion spilled down there in Baltimore. Let's ride. Now, I didn't get there the very first day. I got there the second day, but I pulled up just in time to see Corey Williams score his 2,000 point. Yes, his 2,000 point as Lincoln goes on to beat Johnson C. Smith. And now we got time for the Rams. You know they're going to travel all the way up to Baltimore if they have to. And it's safe to say that that was a main reason on why they were so successful this tournament. The energy from the crowd, the energy from the fans helped them get the win over St. Aug's as Jalen Austin won your game MVP and the Rams advanced to the next round. Now let's talk about how the #1 seed Fayetteville State falls again early in the first round exit. This is the second year in a row where the Fayetteville State Broncos has had a 1 or 2 seed and lost in the first round. Why? Because the teams that they played great basketball, and that's what matters whenever you're down there in Baltimore. And Shania Jones hits this 3-point dagger, sends the Broncos back to Fayetteville. This just shows you no matter what your ranking is, you can lose to anybody up there in Baltimore. Now let's get into the defending champs. Lincoln's women's basketball team played very well and very together. They shot the ball great from beyond the arc, and this is what's helped them push them late in this tournament. They also played together, as you can see that they are moving the ball very well. Virginia State tried to fight back, but as you can see, the ball movement and the constant pressure from outside the arc was too much for the Trojans, and the Lions advanced to the next round. KP wins that MVP, and it was her birthday, so you know her teammates had her back. Now we're going to get into one of the more competitive games throughout the day, Elizabeth City versus the Left-Hand Assassin and Virginia Union. As I said, the Left-Hand Assassin, Robert Osborne, but Khalif Raymond was one of his running mates who came in very clutch in this game. They both combined for over 45 points in this game, and whenever the Conference Player of the Year, Robert Osborne, has somebody like that scoring with him, they're going to be a hard team to beat. But don't get it twisted, the Vikings came back punching. But when it's your day, it's your day, and Khalif Raymond had his day that day. I mean, snatchback pull-up 3, he was feeling it, and then whenever you just hitting a full court shot like he did right here, there's nothing that you can do as the Vikings. The Panthers go on to advance to the next round. Now this game right here was a slobber knocker. This game right here was intense. It was high paced. Shaw U came out swinging from beyond the arc. As you can see, Batala Foster and the Broncos wasn't going down without a fight as they were the defending champs. And Chris Worthy, who was on the defending championship team, was letting it know, I'm still here, I'm still him. But Shaw U said, yes, we know you are him, but we are here to decrown you. And they were fighting back on all cylinders. And whenever the Shaw U Bears threw a punch, Fayetteville State came back with another one. As was stated before, this game went down to the wire, so coach had to draw it up. One last play, 30 seconds on the clock. Chris Worthy drives to the rim, kicks it out to his guy Mr. Clutch. Caleb Coleman knocks it down from 3, and this gives the Broncos the win to send them to the Final Four. And this right here concludes my day 2. Let's hop back in on day 3. Now we in day 3 with the Women's Conference Player of the Year, Amaya Tucker for the Winston-Salem State Rams taking on Shaw University. And sad to say, but the Rams couldn't do anything versus Shaw down low. Now they were letting it go from beyond the arc, letting it fly. They was knocking them down. Women's Player of the Year, Amaya Tucker, she had herself not the quiet game that she wanted. She was only 2 for 7 from beyond the arc, and you don't want to miss shots against this tall, lengthy Shaw team who's very good down inside. They pride themselves on defense, and they got multiple stops against the high-powered offense of Winston-Salem State University. And whenever you can slow that offense down, it gives your offense more opportunities to capitalize off the opportunities that you were given. And Shaw took every single one and dominated it. With this win from the Bears, this puts them into the Final Four. Next up, we have Elizabeth City State taking on Bowie State. This is my first time ever seeing Elizabeth City State play, and now that I think about it, out of both men's and women's bracket, this was the team that I think played the best together. Like, they all passed the ball. Nobody wasn't trying to force up their own shots. Nobody was letting their egos get in the way. This was the team that looked dialed in from the start, and I feel like this is what really led them to winning it all. And with leaders like Nyasia Blanco, who was just 1 game away from the championship last year, she was playing like she wasn't letting it happen this year, and she carried it on to her teammates, which helped them advance to the Final Four. And now we got Lincoln taking on Virginia State. Now this game was a battle. Like, I wasn't expecting this game to be this close, but the way that Lincoln came out and fought at the beginning of the game showed me that they were locked in and dialed in to one cause, and that was to win. They didn't care about nothing else but the win. But I wouldn't be doing my job correctly if I sat here and said that Lincoln dominated them. No, Virginia State fought in this game. Coming into the tournament, they were the 3 seed, and they showed it. They had a very high-powered offense, and they were clicking on all cylinders. But whenever it's your time, it's your time. And it was time for Lincoln to finally advance to the Final Four, which they haven't ever done in school history. Corey Williams willed and pulled his team, shot his team deep into the Final Four. You can see it on Coach's face. First time in school history, but the job's not done. 2 more games. And now we got Winston-Salem State taking on Claflin University. And this game got a little intense, that where the student sections were even getting into it. Hopefully next year we can have more schools come out, because I'm telling you, that energy feeds off into the players. They play a lot more harder and a lot more tougher. This game was a down to the wire, down to the finish type of game. Bryson Dennis going to the rim over the top, beautiful lay. Jalen also in the rim said, man, not on my watch. We're not going for it. We're not going down without no fight. And they was going at it. Samaj Till gets to the lane, goes over the top. He gets a tough layup. And late in the second half, the Rams started up on offense as Isaac Parson knocks down this 3. And this is helping the Rams pull away with this win to advance them to the Final Four. This wraps up day 3. And now we're jumping in day 4, which is the day of the Final Four. Elizabeth City State is taking on Johnson C. Smith. And Elizabeth City came out hot. But Johnson C. Smith said, hey, we just took down Fayetteville State, who was the number 2 seed. So we ain't ducking no smoke. Let's hoop. And they was hooping in the first half. Because in the first half, it looked like it was going to be a down to the wire game. But in the second half, Elizabeth City turned up the pressure, started hitting shots, turned it up on defense, started getting the ball down low to where their bigs were getting in foul trouble, and it just led to more opportunities to go to the free throw line and close this game out, which they did to advance them to the championship game. Now, this game right here was the biggest game of the tournament. Robert Osborne, the left-handed assassin, has had Winston-Salem State's number for almost a year and a half. They knocked them out of the tournament last year. They beat them in the early tournament last year as well, and they were looking to do the same thing again to advance them to the championship day. Came out lighting it up from beyond the arc, and you can see it from Robert Osborne, who was looking to send the Rams home once again. But the Rams said, not on my watch, man. We done with that. We getting over this hump. And Samaj Till, the silent killer assassin, helped out. If they needed a bucket, they know who to go to. Drop it down low to the bigs or kick it out to the guards to hit shots from beyond the arc, and they was letting it fly in the second half. But the Panthers kept fighting back, kept knocking down shots, and it was looking like the Panthers was going to run away with another one and send the Rams home once again. I mean, look, the left-handed assassin, the conference player of the year, Robert Osborne, get to that mid-range shot, and he kissing him goodbye. But not just so fast. The Rams started pushing the pace on offense, getting on the 4 clicker, getting to the rim. And with the shots not falling, you gotta rebound the ball, and that's what the Rams did to get them all the way back into this lead to tie the game up. And now the Rams need 1 shot with 10 seconds left. Samaj still pulls up, mid-range shot, knocks it down to give the Rams a 2-point lead. The Panthers call a timeout. They give it to the left-handed assassin, and they're gonna crash him. He gets a wide open player in the corner. He misses the shot. This gives the Rams the win to finally get over the hump of the Panthers. And now they know that they need 1 more game to get that ring. And if the Fayetteville State Broncos can pull this off, it'll be a rematch between the Rams and the Broncos back in 2020 whenever the Rams got their first ring. So let's see if we can get that rematch. And it was looking like it early because the Broncos came out hot and aggressive. They were looking to set the tone that they didn't care who was in their way. They wanted to get their get back on the Rams. But Corey Williams said, not today, brother. You're going to have to stop me before you get back to that game. But Caleb Coleman said, hey, you're going to have to stop me. Both teams were letting it fly from beyond the arc, and it was a battle. Who wanted it more? I can tell you right now, the Lions were looking to pull off something they never done before in school history. Get to the championship game and win it, because the shot making from Corey Williams showed it, and just the energy that they played with, the passion that they played with, the way that they moved the ball, the way that they worked together on offense and defense on both sides of the court. And to just think about it, the team is so young. They only got like 2 to 3 seniors on the team. That just all advised to great coaching. And Corey Williams knocks down this deep 3 from beyond the arc, and this sends the Lions to the championship game, to where they only got 1 more game to pull off the dream mission, the dream goal. Get the first championship in school history, and they're so close. But before we get into that, we got Lincoln taking on Shaw U, and I ain't gonna lie, I did not expect this game to go how it went, because it was real feisty and it was real competitive, but I love it. Underdog team with the defending champs is always going to be a great story. Brittany Seymour was letting them know early, y'all too little, y'all gonna have a long night dealing with me. Even though the Lions wasn't known for their defense and known for the offense, the defense created the offense here, but that wasn't as much as what happened in this game. The Shaw U Bears were just getting it down low, and the Lions could not contain them down low. So the game plan, I can see it, was to try to outscore them. When you got the firepower like Lincoln does, I mean, hey, you can kind of get away with it. But at the end of the day, you're going to need stops. You're going to need defense. This is what this game came down to. Who's going to get more stops? Who's going to stop the other team from scoring? Because they both can score, but who's going to stop each other person from scoring? And it became the Shaw U Bears. Just kept forcing their way down low, kept forcing their way in the paint. They didn't have to shoot shots from beyond the arc whenever you were just getting to the paint easy handily like they were doing currently. How can you stop it? They couldn't. Just like any other team couldn't that Shaw U played. They would just get into the rim whenever they wanted and playing defense on the other end, which led them to winning this game and taking the upset win over the defending champions to advancing them to the final championship game. And now it's here, championship game. Lincoln University taking on Winston-Salem State University. And this game right here, can't even sit here and try to explain it to you because the Rams dominated. Honestly, from start to finish, the Rams dominated. And I really just think that they came down to experience. The Rams had a lot of players that were on that championship team that has been to the championship game, played in that pressure moments, and knew how to handle it. The Lincoln Lions didn't really have that much of experience on their team, so whenever the Rams were going to run, they didn't know how to handle it. But I'd be lying if I said that they didn't grow up right before our eyes, because they most definitely did. And also, the Rams were shooting themselves in the foot. The easiest way to let a team back into a game is to commit turnovers. And that's exactly what the Rams did to give the Lions more confidence and more opportunities to find their offense and get it flowing. And they did. And Reggie Hudson was the leader of it. Get to the rim at all costs, whatever it took. And with the lead coming down lower and lower, the confidence for the Lions was building, the momentum was switching to the Lions, and the coach was feeling the energy, and they were looking to capitalize and come back and win this game, fighting inch and claw and grabbing every board that they could, do whatever it takes to get that ring. But as I stated before, I feel like the difference in this game was the experience. The Rams knew that we got to do what we normally do, get the ball down low to our bigs, let them cook, let them eat, and Jalen Gibson did just that. Forced it down low to him, let him work, he was cooking. And after they started getting him cooking, they started forcing more turnovers on defense, which led to this dunk to build up a lead once again, and the Rams had finally accomplished the mission. After the buzzer went off, you could see it on their faces how excited and how ecstatic they were. They were happy to finally win that ring once again. And now we're going to Elizabeth City State, who's taking on Shaw U, which I thought would be a great game. But honestly, the Bears just looked tired. They wasn't hitting the shots that they normally was hitting before games. It looked like they just finally hit the road and were gassed and were tired. And Elizabeth City smelled blood in the water, and they took full advantage of it, as they should. And I mean, the Bears didn't go out without a fight either. They were tough, sound, and disciplined, so they was going to fight until the last whistle blew. But you could just see it here. The shots that they were hitting before in games just wasn't falling. It wasn't like they were taking contested shots. Open shots just couldn't hit them. And as an opposing coach, and I'm seeing that, I'm taking full advantage and I'm keeping fresh bodies on the court to making sure that we're running. And that's what they did, which is smart. Because if you got fresh bodies on the court, it leads to more hustle plays. It leads to you fighting for that rebound. It leads to you diving on that loose ball. It leads to you going for that steal. It leads for you to hit more of your jump shots, as the Vikings are doing currently. I stated before, and I'm going to state it again. The Vikings just smelt blood in the water and they just went hunting. They were the most dialed in team the whole tournament, and I felt like this was a very huge part in them winning the championship. And this is how the Vikings and the Rams went on to win their rings in the CIAA 2023 championship. I thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the celebration. Enjoy these final clips. We'll see y'all at the MEAC tournament. It's Game Day Nation, and we out.
On the court as we continue to celebrate.